needlesscomplexityradio@gmail.com. Say what is on your mind. Enjoy the show. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Needless Complexity Show, de facto film reviews. Um, it is me, your host, your dear old dad, Uncle Julian. Hey, Julian, walking down the street with a cup of water, going Danny Ocean on. Yeah, welcome to the Needless Complexity Show. Why am I calling it de facto? It sounded kind of cool, to be honest. And then I looked it up, and then it said de facto describes situations that exist in practice. Okay, checks out. Even if not officially or legally recognized. Well, definitely checks out because no one's probably going to watch the show. And I saw that de facto is the opposite of désolé. So all the more fitting. Really, this is just our little corner of the internet to talk about movies on a weekly basis. The goal is to upload on Mondays. So I think how I'd like to structure it is each episode we'll chop it up a little bit. I'll check in on you, let you know how things are going in my life, and hopefully things are going good in your life. Hey, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you continue to be all right. That's my radio voice. Uh, and then obviously we'll get into the main review content. So I'll be bringing a movie review to you all each week. I'll try to keep it relevant, but if you all have any good suggestions, please bring them my way. I love a great suggestion for movies. Lastly, would like to carve out a little bit of space to hear from you all. So I'm thinking we'll just call it the inbox, where you can write into the show, where you can just talk about whatever you'd like. So you saw a good movie, if you have some comments from a previous episode, or if you just want to tell me how your life is going, please bring it all. So go to needlesscomplexityradio@gmail.com if you have something to say. So yeah, whether this show turns out just being me talking into the ether, that's fine. If I get one listener, that's fine too. The idea is to just put it out there. All right, to just get it out. So that's going to be my goal for the show. So really excited to kick things off. Really looking forward to connecting with you all, and I hope that you enjoy the show, and maybe we get a little bit of longevity. Hey, get a little bit of longevity out of it, yeah. All right, enjoy the show. Okay, I need to attack Walmart for a few minutes. And I tell you what, I ain't gonna go fucking easy on them either. No, all jokes aside, but what the fuck? What the actual fuck is going on at Walmart stores? Listen, we get it. We live in the dystopian end times. The aliens are coming down any minute. Jesus is gonna crack the sky. Someone's gonna pierce the firmament. I get it, okay? We're at late stage existence. And, I give some retailers the benefit of the doubt because it's bad everywhere, right? The lines are long. There's nothing on the shelf. At this part, we're just kind of pretending that society isn't fractured. But what the fuck? Walmart. um, so I go to Walmart today, and I'm going to be honest. All right. There was a glimmer of hope as soon as I got there. There was just the smallest, tiniest glimmer of hope when I got to Walmart this afternoon. Because when I got there, the entrance to the garden center was actually open. And if you're like me, you understand the impact of that. Those who may or may not know, Walmart is notorious for closing their garden center entrance by like 11 o'clock in the morning. The garden center entrance is for people like me who want to dodge the people trying to sell me cookies and cell phone plans and sneakers as I'm going into the entrance. So I pull up to Walmart today and I'm walking up and I see that the garden center entrance is open. So I'm like, okay, we might be onto something here. But I was quickly mistaken. I'm convinced that Walmart is a front for Palantir. What? Yeah, I said it. Walmart is 100% the ground zero. It's like the UAT testing for mass surveillance. There is no reason that any retail store should have the level of surveillance tech in the health and beauty section that Walmart does. It's a fucking TSA. I'm looking for a few products, bada bing, gotta make the body smell good, you know what I mean? Gotta smell good for the ladies. I'm looking for some deodorant, and I look up, and there's like this monitor coming down from the ceiling, and it's a camera feed monitor, and I'm sitting there. I can't tell where the camera's at, but I see my face on the monitor, and I shit you not, there was a green square around my face. What the fuck is that? I don't know at like what part of the timeline or the simulation or whatever it is that we're living in, but it can't be great. And at this point, I'm 100% open to simulation theory. Because there is no way that this is the same company that 10 years ago you could slide in at 3:30 in the morning, buy a $2 bottle of wine, go through the checkout, and be back to the party. What happened? I'm not even going to address the long lines because that's just a thing. That's just everywhere at this point. But it's so in your face how humiliating the experience of checking out at Walmart is. It's actually impressive. Walmart will have 2 cashiers open, 2 human beings, two physical people checking people out. That line is back to the changing stations. Then you have the self-checkout area, which is a carnival on its own. But the thing about that section that's strange, there'll be like 6 Walmart employees just kind of in that area with like handheld devices. I don't even know what those handheld devices are. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But there's like a lady at the end of the self-checkout area on what looks to be a register, like monitoring. So Walmart is putting all of their resources in anti-theft. I don't know. It's almost like maybe if they put that amount of labor into getting the lines through, people would be less inclined to steal. Now, I'm not condoning theft, but I'm like, this deodorant is only, and listen, as I say, only, right? Only $7. Am I willing to make that risk? I thought about it. And I was like, okay, it's $7. They probably won't prosecute right away. If anything, they'll just build a case. Because I think isn't that what Target does? I heard like the first time you steal from Target, they don't do anything. They let you come and steal like multiple times, and they'll like they like build a case on you. Like Target has its own like noir detective. Day number 46. Was in my office. Old Joe Blow over here came through thinking he could steal the toothpaste again. But what happened, man? Like what happened? I remember a golden age when I was a child. You'd walk into those front doors of Walmart with your parent, and there would be a nice lady greeting you, and she'd give you a big, fat, yellow smiley face sticker, and she'd put it right on your hand. You'd walk a few more feet, and there's Ronald McDonald sitting on the bench with his legs crossed. You know why? Because he got a 6-piece nugget for 25 cents. No worries. What happened to that world? You'd get the big, fat, smiley face sticker on your hand. You'd go home and you'd be like half in tears trying to rip it off your hand. You remember that? That's where childhood trauma starts. It's trying to take the sticker from Walmart, the big, giant, yellow smiley face sticker, off from your hand. You'd be sitting there in tears. Nothing was worse than that. What happened to that world? What happened to the world of smiley faces? Didn't that used to be like Jeep's thing? Didn't Jeep, like that was part of their whole branding at the time? There'd be that smiley face, put it on the spare tire. Underneath it just says it's a Jeep thing. That was back when people with Jeeps like had a story. It's like your dad's uncle that like fought in the Vietnam War. Those are the real Jeep owners. Every person that owned a Jeep at that time in my head was basically Lieutenant Dan. He got both of his legs blown off in a war. Now if you have a Jeep, you have a skyline of ducks across the dashboard. What happened to the times? What happened to our smiling faces? All right, so it has come to my attention that Quentin Tarantino has ruffled a few feathers in Hollywood. Let's see here. Tarantino made headlines after calling Paul Dano, known for his films like There Will Be Blood and The Batman, the weakest male actor in SAG, so I'm guessing the Screen Actors Guild, and the limpest dick in the world. Okay, let's see. Ranking There Will Be Blood. He stated that Dano's performance was a big, giant flaw and kept the film from ranking higher than 5th on his top 20 list of 21st century movies. Okay, I'm going to start with this. I only know Paul Dano from There Will Be Blood and the Batman. Now, I don't know if that says something about me or if that says something about Quentin Tarantino or Paul Dano himself, but it sounds like Quentin Tarantino is saying that this actor is not shit. Now, is it a nice thing to say? No. Is it a kind thing to say? Absolutely not. I don't know, and this is just my opinion. This is Abe Julian's opinion, Danny Ocean Julian. Now, this is obviously not the first time that he said some very strongly worded things. But also, I don't consider Quentin Tarantino, considering his resume, considering the movies that he's made, considering the stronghold that he has on the genre, I wouldn't take many things that he says with a grain of salt. If Quentin Tarantino gave me criticism, I'm not an actor. Obviously, I'm just talking to myself on my phone. The guy has weight. He has weight. And I'm sorry, but he kind of can throw it around. Who has publicly come out and said that Quentin Tarantino has made bad? Now, listen, I'm making it about Quentin Tarantino. And it's not about that. It's about someone who is a professional saying very not nice things about another professional. But is there a reason that we only know Paul Dano from There Will Be Blood and Batman? I don't know. There could be. I can't name another film that he's been in. Truthfully, Paul Thomas Anderson, arguably, in my opinion, one of the best filmmakers of this era. If Quentin Tarantino put one of my movies that I've never made and will never make in his list of top 20, I wouldn't have an opinion on the matter. And it doesn't sound like Paul Thomas Anderson. I haven't heard anything about him speaking up yet. I haven't heard anything. There's been a lot of people in Hollywood that have, come forward in their support of Paul Dano and, and that's the thing, right? Like, I don't think anyone has actually, like come out super hard and like condemned Quentin Tarantino from the comments that he made. Let's see. Matthew Lillard reacts to Quentin Tarantino criticizing his acting. It hurts. Oh, okay. So Quentin Tarantino had words for him too. Okay. So Quentin says, I don't care for Matthew Lillard. Quentin Tarantino said in a recent interview, Lillard reacted at GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio on Friday saying, it's humbling, it hurts. Okay. Oh, okay. And he also said it fucking sucks. All right. So if your only response to one of the greatest directors in our time is, it's humbling and it hurts and it sucks, and you don't have anything to really clap back at, maybe he's right. All right. This is the one that I think is going to get me in a little bit of trouble. And I was seriously contemplating covering this one because, look, the show is new. I'm sensitive. I want to be liked. My audio sucks. So I'm really just looking for reasons for people to not listen into the show. At this point, I'm just like, all right, let's just go all the way. We need to talk about Pluribus. All right, yes. we need to talk about Pluribus. So here's what I'll say. It's good. I don't think it's great. I think that it is just okay. And television shows can be just okay. And so I'm caught up on the show, and I like it. I'm enjoying it. But as I was watching the show, I feel like I started to feel this sense of guilt because I feel like I was not connecting with it on the level that I felt like I should have been. And I was like, okay, like, why do I feel this way? Like, it's good. I don't love it, but I'm feeling really self conscious about not loving it. And I think maybe that has something to do with perhaps how polarizing the internet is now, and how the maybe just a reminder of how not real the internet is a lot of the times. So, for example, like film Twitter, you have a lot of the big accounts that are promoting film. You have a lot of the smaller accounts. You have the reviewers. Um, but one thing I noticed about film Twitter or X or whatever, God, that sounded pretentious. Um, one thing I noticed is there isn't a lot of neutrality in the conversations. It's either people are like shitting on a movie or losing their minds over the movie. There just doesn't really seem to be an in between. And maybe it's just the way that things are like promoted now. You know, I walked into Pluribus, read a lot about it beforehand, was really excited that Vince Gilligan was sort of taking on this new genre, sci-fi, coming off these two like juggernaut shows, Better Call Saul, and then obviously before that, Breaking Bad. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I think maybe even naively, not in a naive fashion, my expectations were just way high, and maybe that was just kind of inflated due to all the conversations of praise the show has been getting. And I don't know, maybe that's just more of like a social media thing. Yeah, sometimes I do wonder like what the world would be like if social media were like scale. Anyway, um, so Pluribus, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm like 65% invested in the show. I think it's an incredibly original show. Um, Aesthetically, it's really awesome to look at. I do love how there's all of these little like nods to Breaking Bad, and a lot of the same. You see a lot of some of the same elements that you did, but yeah, it's just okay. And I'm gonna take it a step further, and you know, I think some people might call me a contrarian. They might call me a hater. Look, I'm just being honest, all right? Because at the end of the day, I'm just talking to myself. um, it's okay. I think the acting is just okay. I don't necessarily think there is any standout performance um, amongst anyone in the cast, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Uh, no, I'm not just going to leave it at that. Uh, I've been kind of going back and forth with what it is about this show that I feel like isn't quite sticking for me. And I think what it is I'm trying to find the soul in the show. I'm trying to find the soul. And I don't know if I have found the soul or if there is a soul to be found in the show. Obviously, Ray Seahorn's character is getting set up for some major character development, but it's almost like I don't care. I feel like I couldn't care what happens to her character. If her character were never in another minute of the show, I'd be like, okay. I just don't feel like there's anything gripping about any of the characters at all. And I don't know if that is intentional or what, but the show feels a little empty to me. I think the only reason I'm continuing to watch the show is because I just want to know what this whole phenomenon is, and like that's it. And listening to myself, I feel like I'm being like super critical, especially of Ray Seahorn. I really liked her in Breaking Bad. I loved her character, Kim Wexler, but I don't know if I believe her as the star of this show. To be honest, I think her character is, if anything, just annoying. And yeah, I feel like I don't care. And that sounds really, really harsh, but that's the truth. I'm going to continue to watch it. It's fun. It's fine. But I don't find it gripping or captivating. And it's weird because you like get on Twitter and every other comment is just like, she's mother, and I'm just like, maybe everyone is seeing something that I'm not seeing. Maybe it's going over my head. I want to like the show. I think that in many ways it is a refreshing show because I don't really think I've seen anything lately that just has that unique production value. That is one thing that I will say about Vince Gilligan shows, is that he's really able to do something special with so little on screen. If that makes sense, his movies are very his show, what am I saying, movies? His shows are just very like visually like straightforward, and I think what has carried that is just the phenomenal storytelling that he's able to do in his shows. So I'm going to continue watching it. I am interested to see what happens and, see where the show goes. Maybe we'll talk about it in another episode. Maybe things will change, but we'll see. Really appreciate you all tuning into the show today. Are your ears bleeding yet? Mine are. Jesus Christ, editing this thing, I'm cringing. But this was the pilot episode of Needless Complexity Radio. I hope to continue to keep doing it. Also, big apology to Paul Dano. He was actually phenomenal. See, I can't remember the name of the movie. What was the movie he did with Hugh Jackman? It is totally slipping me now. I knew that I wasn't going to remember it. Oh well. Bro, needlesscomplexityradio@gmail.com if you have something to say. I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Needless complexity. Needless complexity. Needless complexity. Needless. It's needless complexity.